What's up everybody, it's Chris back again with Load and Make Ready. Today I've got a super cool video. We're going to talk about suppressors and what they are really all about. Now there's a lot of common misconceptions out there from movies, news media, TVs, video games, whatever you want to get your information from. But I'm going to show you what they really are. They're a fantastic tool to protect your hearing. Now when you fire any type of firearm, there's three sources of sound. There is the sound of the action cycling. Now, all these firearms have been safety checked and cleared before the start of the video. You can see the empty magazines here. Chamber is empty and nothing in the grip. So, when I say the action cycling, I mean you hear the sound of all the mechanical components moving inside the firearm. The second source of sound is what suppressors actually help reduce, and that is the expanding gas as it leaves the end of the muzzle. You cannot totally eliminate that, but you can reduce it down to hearing safe levels, which is what suppressors are for. And then the third source of sound is the sonic crack of the projectile itself going through the air at supersonic speeds, which can also be reduced by getting subsonic ammunition. And we'll talk about that later in the video. So we're going to go ahead, make these hot, record some stuff, show it to y'all, and let's just get at it. Okay, so first up we're going to run a 45 ACP. The pistol we're going to shoot the 45 through is a Dan Wesson Discretion. It's 1911 style 45, and up front we have a Liberty Suppressors? Liberty Suppressors Cosmic Suppressor. And I'm going to let y'all see how it sounds. Right quick, we got just 5 rounds of standard 230 grain 45 ACP from PMC, and here we go. Get my ears. And now I'm just going to put 2 in the dirt so you can hear it without that ping of the steel target. Very nice. All clear. So next up, we're going to go to a 9mm pistol, and the pistol that we're going to be shooting for this one is a CZ SP01. This one has a bunch of stuff in there from Cajun Gunworks. Super nice, custom. Gotta love these things. And the can on this one is also going to be from Liberty Suppressors, but this one is their Infinity X. And let's rock and roll. Let you see how it sounds. Same thing with this one. I'm going to put about 3 on the steel plate, 2 in the berm, and we'll see how it goes. Man, I love the way these CZs recoil. That's awesome. Okay, so one more thing to note when we talk about suppressors is the type of ammunition you shoot. Typically, you're going to run across either supersonic or subsonic, and that's all just talking about the velocity of the bullet. The suppressor is only going to muffle the sound at the barrel. It will not muffle the sound of the round going through the air going down range. So, to show you the difference in supersonic and subsonic, we're going to shoot this Kel-Tec P17, and on the can we have a CZ. It's a new offering from CZ. It's the CZ rimfire. So I've got 5 rounds of supersonic, then I'm going to switch to 5 rounds of subsonic and let you hear the difference. All right, so that was the supers. And now for the subs. That's sweet. So last but not least, we're going to show you on a full-size rifle. Even with a suppressor, it's still very loud. We're just running some standard 5.56, 223 through a BPM Patrol carbine with another CZ can, the CZ 5.56 Ti, and we'll let you hear how this sounds as well. There will be no shots on steel because I don't want to get anything back in my face. Here we go. Definitely get ears on for this one. Awesome. Awesome. So you may be wondering how I got all of this stuff to shoot today. Well, that's all thanks to my good friend here, Hunter Elliot with rangehot.com. So Hunter, how about you tell us a little bit about your channel?
All right, so I've been doing gun reviews about 20 years now, but I started rangehot.com about 7 years ago because truthfully I got tired of editors and publishers and all worrying me to death about how I wrote and my grammar, because I'm from North Carolina and we got a certain way of doing things.
That we do.
So some of these guns are guns that I'm currently reviewing: the Kel-Tec P17 with the CZ rimfire can, as well as the CZ Titanium TI, or two silencers and a pistol that I'm reviewing currently. Chris is a friend of mine. I reached out to him, say, hey man, you know, we do a lot of B-roll on my channel. We get different people to come and shoot the guns. So I asked him to come over here and help with the review. He was good enough to not only show up and help on time, he brought ammunition, which was awesome. Hey. XOXO. That's hugs and kisses for everybody else. And so he come out, we shot, we got some good B-roll for my site. And Chris had this wonderful idea, hey, let's do something about silencer suppressors while we're here. And so that's kind of where we're at, talking about these different cans that I'm either reviewing or have reviewed.
All right, so I guess that leads us to how exactly does a suppressor work? Well, the suppressors, as we said in the intro, silencers or suppressors, terms can be used interchangeably. I believe the proper term is silencer, though. What they do is they help reduce the sound from one of the sources of sound from a firearm, and that is the expanding gas as the bullet leaves the barrel. The projectile, the bullet, the round, however you want to go about it. And the way it goes about doing that is as the projectile itself leaves the barrel, the gases are directed into a set of baffles. Now those gases then get redirected around the baffles, allowing them time to slow down and cool off so that you don't have as loud of a pop or a bang when those gases leave the barrel. Now, some suppressor silencers, again, however you want to go about it, have what's known as a Nielsen device, and Hunter can explain that way better than I can.
So the Nielsen device is going to be applied when you're using a firearm handgun with a Browning tilting barrel action. So if it's a fixed barrel, like a rimfire or an AR, then generally you're going to have a direct thread can, or it's going to QD to a direct thread mount. That's all fine and well. However, if you've got a Browning tilting barrel design for your autoloader, as we know, as these pistols feed, the barrel actually has to tilt down a little bit. It's either going to cam on a link or a camming surface on the barrel.
We got an audience.
That pulls the barrel down into the receiver just a little bit, allowing for feeding from the magazine. That was a John Browning genius design. When you introduce a silencer to that design, you're actually introducing X amount more length and weight. And because that is pistol designed to function with the barrel length, ever how it is, you add that much length, you add that much weight, you're going to potentially induce malfunctions. And so they add this, what's called a Nielsen device, piston. And it essentially is a piston that is spring-loaded, and it acts as a clutch. Just think about when you're shifting gears in your car, you step on the clutch, and that separates your engine from your transmission, allow you to shift gears. This Nielsen device, just for an instant, under recoil, separates the silencer from the barrel, and that allows for reliable functioning with a Browning tilting barrel design on your 1911 CZ Glock type pistols. Again, if it's a fixed barrel, you can just direct thread it and that'll be good to go. Just information to understand as you're shopping for your silencer, you need to know what you need to know so you can get what you need to have.
Because if you need that that little extra spring to make sure your firearm functions properly and you don't have it, and your firearm starts going click instead of bang after every shot, you're going to be very, very, very sad that you just wasted that much time and money on something that's not going to work for you.
Because to elaborate exactly what you said, most silencers, so I'm gonna thread this off here. This is a Liberty Suppressors Infinity X, and I'm actually threading it off the barrel of this CZP-01. And so most of your silencers are what they call multi-caliber. So this is a 9mm can. The Nielsen device, the piston threads off. So if you're running this on your fixed barrel, Liberty sends an adapter. So you basically just thread your adapter here in place of your Nielsen device, and that will allow you to mount this on something that's a fixed barrel. But when you're ordering your can, if you're like, oh, I'm going to run it on a couple different guns, I want to run it on my AR, then I'm going to run it on my 9mm, what have you, then you need to know, okay, I need a direct thread adapter as well as a Nielsen device. The reason silencers are what they consider multi-caliber is, this is a Liberty Suppressors Cosmic that Chris was demoing. It's a 45 caliber can. That means it's got a 45 caliber hole in the end or bigger. So you can run this on a 9mm because, a 45 is 451, 9mm is 355. So you got a smaller bullet. So that will allow you to transfer the can from gun to gun to gun. The only thing you have to change is the Nielsen device, or if you're really cheap, you can take the Nielsen device apart and just swap out the pistons. You go from whatever thread to whatever thread, and you're good to go on that. Then if you want to go to your direct thread AR, as long as the silencer is rated for it, then you can run this Cosmic, let's say, on your AR. The downside of that is if you got a 45 caliber can and you're running 9mm through it, it's not going to be quite as quiet because it is a little bit larger hole. And as Chris had talked about earlier, the silencer does a lot of different things to kind of minimize that report. And if you've got a 45 caliber hole in the end and you're running a 9mm, you've got a little bit less baffle area, a little bit less muzzle area to help suppress that. So it's going to be a little bit louder, but that's going to keep you from having to buy, a number of silencers and have to wait for that, that damned $200 tax stamp for each can. So that's something to consider. Now, in the reverse, if you have a 9mm can, obviously it would work for your 380s or whatever, but I know this is pretty stupid and I shouldn't have to say it, but you wouldn't want to screw your 9mm can on your 45 auto, because then you're going to have what I call an unintentional field strip, which means it's going to come apart in front of you, and so no more can. So just food for thought.
And possibly no more fingers.
And possibly no more fingers, no more gun, no more eyes. So if you're considering buying a silencer, which I strongly would encourage, make sure you go to the manufacturer's website and see what they're rated for. If like, oh, I'm ever going to shoot 9mm out of it, then maybe you just want to go to a dedicated 9mm can. But if you're interested in possibly going with a 45 auto or something, starting out, get one can that'll do most. And then as your patience and budget allows, then you can then begin to specialize on what particular dedicated silencers you want in that instance.
Awesome. Well, I can't say thank you enough, man.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate you letting me come out here.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate your help with the B-roll. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Anytime. No, don't threaten me with a good time.
Amen, brother.
I will be here.
I appreciate you showing up and helping out. It's always good to have a knowledgeable gun guy out here shooting the guns. That way, I'm getting information on my end. I'm getting your opinions, and I can factor in all that as I'm putting my review together.
And the more information we can put together, the more information we can bring to you guys in the best way possible. So thanks again to Hunter Elliot, rangehot.com. I'm going to put a link to his channel or one of his videos in the description below so y'all can go check him out. That's going to wrap it up for today. Y'all stay safe. Have a great weekend. Practice often. It's been Chris with Load and Make Ready. Have a great weekend.